The 2025 NCAA March Madness Men's Tournament is back, and this time it is bringing all the feels. The biggest event in college sports tips off March 18th, and you don't want to miss a second of the heart-pumping action. Catch all the clutch shots, big-time plays, upsets, Cinderellas, blue bloods, and more. Tune in to the NCAA Men's Division I Basketball Championship March 18th through April 7th on TBS, CBS, TNT, True TV, and Stream on Max.
It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, KFC, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a burger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Jacob Minter. Yeah, good job with the shot, and the Slough Jets have taken the lead on the power play. With the shot force goal. No need to stay from Lorde, and Campbell finds himself in, and it's 3-1 to the Chelsea Chieftains.
Hello and welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK ice hockey podcast. We're in partnership with the Hockey Art Co. Hockey clothing for hockey people, worn by the best and hated by the rest. Listeners to Zero Pucks Given get a 10% discount on everything site-wide from hockeyartclothing.co.uk. Just use the code ZP10 upon checkout. We're also in partnership with Manscaped, the globally recognised male grooming brand with top-of-the-range products such as the Weed Whacker, the Lawn Mower, the Dome Shaver Pro, and the Beard Hucker. You can get 20% off of everything from manscaped.com when you use the code ZeroPucks20. And we are also part of the Sports Social Podcast Network, the largest sport podcast network in Europe, boasting over 500 podcasts from more than 20 different sports. And we're delighted that ZPG Ice Maidens and Zero Pucks Given are a part of it. Well, welcome along to episode 164. This is a little bit of a special one for the Solent Devils fans. I was contacted about this event a little while ago before it was made public and asked to be involved. Unfortunately, it falls on a weekend where I'm busy. So at the very, very least, all I can do is give this guy a big plug for his testimonial. It's Chico Cole. How you doing, fella?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Very well. It's been a while.
It has been a while, mate. You were on, like, the end of season 1.
Oh.
When you retired, we're coming to the end of season 3 now. I think it was about 130 episodes ago.
Yeah, that makes me sound older already. Oh.
Well, obviously, since you've stopped playing, you've obviously had a lot of big changes in your life, and you're going to be a dad, which is incredible.
I am. Thank you very much. Nerve-wracking, exciting. I don't know if I'm more nervous to go into my testimonial or become a dad at the moment.
Getting back on the ice is a little bit more nerve-wracking than you thought it might be.
I mean, I've been training, and Muzz he actually made me laugh for the first time that I've actually voluntarily texted him and said I want to train, which he didn't think would ever come out of my mouth, probably because I used to be probably not the worst training goalie, but to me, obviously, goalies at the end of the drill never really interested me too much. I like the challenge of the game real scenarios. So when you do like 3-on-1 or 3-on-0 drills, to me it was just absolute garbage, you know. I hated it. I just stood there and it was just at the end of the drill, like I say. So it's a challenge for me now where I feel like I've lost a little bit of my touch, and I'm excited to get back on the ice every time at the moment.
No, have you kept up, physical training?
Work. No, I've been in the gym a little bit. just trying to keep my health that way. Nothing too much, just a social gym.
Yeah, of course. You got to keep a little bit in shape for all the times you pop off on holiday as well.
Well, there is that as well. I do try. However, the dad bod may come out, now I've got an excuse.
It's the thing of the future, mate. It's the absolute future. I spent, 5 or 6 years in incredible shape. I'm so much happier in a dad bod.
It's a catch-22 though, isn't it? You look there, we'll go on holiday looking all well. I eat truckloads as well, so I'll put it back on quickly. No, I don't get fat, but I just podge up a little bit, should I say.
I think when you become a dad, your metabolism slows down that little bit because you find yourself finishing everything the kid don't eat. So it's...
the way I go, there wouldn't be anything the kid do eat anyway.
Yeah, what they're eating for the first... Well, actually, to be fair, what they're eating for like the first couple of months or so is very appealing to dads. But, after that, once they get onto like the mushy stuff, you've got to wait for the real food after Booby Town is over. But so when did this idea kind of come around then? Because you've been retired, as you said now, in a couple of years. This is the second full season that the Devils have done without you in the pipes. So when did this come about?
I think it was... Obviously, there was a lot of talk about it anyway through various other people, not necessarily the club, or it was just obviously always mentioned that technically I was probably one of the first, or I suppose I am one of the first, apart from when you go like the original Devils, of something that maybe of such accolade has then left the club. So it was kind of just maybe on the back burner. Because the club's never done it before, it's a massive new thing to them. And I think obviously me just leaving the club, we didn't really speak in terms of, I probably only went down to the club maybe once or twice the following year, just through work being busy, and obviously people move on, clubs move on, etc. And past that point, I didn't really think it would happen. So I don't know what happened in the background, if I'm honest. I don't really get involved in all that kind of stuff. However, and my hat is off to Alison Cloutman and obviously Murray initially to obviously get the ball rolling, get it going. And honestly, I don't think without Alison, I don't know how I'd even plan this game, if I'm honest. She's like my personal PA at the moment. With me trying to get some people in, sponsors, whatever else it may be, and then I'll just chuck a name, a number, and an email, and then she deals with it all. Because we got something really special for the game, and something I don't know has ever been done before. And this is from the horse's mouth. This is the first time it's been said as well, apart from a small group that know, is all the profits from the game is going to be donated back to the junior club. Every single goalie will probably get a piece of that, most likely. Any goalie needs kit, whatever it may be, and depending on how big the pot is, we'll probably have a goalie day out. We'll go buy them kit if they want a helmet design done, whatever it may be. Within the budget, we're going to treat every single goalie to something that I was very fortunate to have when I went to Guildford. But as gospel, the way it is, I've never had that, and I want to give back to something that I've never been able to give back to before. So yeah, that's our aim and where we want to go with the game, all the money, etc. I don't need it, I don't want it, so I want to treat every goalie.
Well, that's generally with sporting testimonials. That's an incredible exclusive for us. Thank you so much for that. And the idea behind that is amazing. The sporting testimonials were generally, if you look into football, it would have been because once the players finish playing, they don't then have a job, and they probably need a couple of grand to kind of tide them over for a little while and whatnot. And so for you to do that is, that's a brilliant sort of notion from the game that I'm sure that the Junior Devils set up are incredibly happy with, to be part of it like that. And for people that might not know, obviously the work that Alison's doing to set it up, this is, when you're setting up an ice hockey game, be it a testimonial or a league game, you've still got to hire the ice. You've got to have the official. every player that plays, I'm pretty sure, has either got to be or at some point had to have been registered with England Ice Hockey UK for insurance purposes.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than what I first initially. I thought, it's a testimonial game. I mean, like, this is the first time the clubs have. Surely they'll just give us 4 hours of ice time. No, why would they do that? And I'm just thinking, I don't know why they wouldn't, but why? There's no reason why they can't. But obviously they're there to make money and whatever else as well. Yeah, it's crazy.
I joked with Nicky Watt a couple of weeks ago about going to his charity game in June and doing a couple of shifts. But I've never played, never been registered with England Ice Hockey. I would be breaking all sorts of insurance protocols if I stepped foot on the ice in gear. So there's a lot more to it than people think. And as you say, without people in the know, organise these things can be incredibly difficult.
Indeed, yeah. And I mean, again, luckily, Alison fired over some ideas. Again, she's like, "Oh, you're going to train and whatever else." I said, "Yeah, well, I'll just pop out the Devils or the Div 2 team if I really need to, like 3 sessions or whatever I may do, depending on how I feel or whatever." She's like, "Yeah, but what about everyone else?" I'm thinking, "Well, yeah, that's fine, but." She's like, "Yeah, but your ice fees are this." I'm like, "Okay." So look, we can't even just have, like, once the Div 2 team potentially get knocked out, we may have their Tuesday slot, but we've got to pay for their Tuesday slot even though it's already paid for, whatever it is. It's just it's absolute malarkey. And I'm so glad Alison's dealing with it all. Luckily, one of the sponsors has paid for the ice time to be used. So we're going to try and get a couple of sessions in before the game and see how it goes. We may end up with about 8 players less by the end of the training sessions, let alone the game.
Yeah, they might all come down. I would hope that amongst Team Chico, you've got at least one physio. Amongst
we're tagging on to the Devils physio, so yeah, hopefully she'll be busy, I guess.
Yeah, that's the most recent announcement that's come from Solent Devils and the Solent Devils testimonial page.
It has.
That the bench staff will be Jock. Obviously, it wouldn't be a Devils bench without Jock behind it.
No.
It'll be Bernie Martin and Ben Powell will be on the bench joining the Devils. I'm looking through the list. I don't think all of these would have played with you at the Devils.
No. So initially, obviously, when we started planning this months and months ago, it was always mentioned the current Devils, but potentially before all the older guys have retired, being like Lockie, Pitsy was kind of always a half and half. Lackey was maybe a half and half. There was going to be like the injection back into that team, but then they all signed this year again anyway. So then they just obviously joined the team, and then a few of them like Lockie, he's away with his missus or something. So we've got a bit of the new guys just for some fresh faces in there. Obviously, some of them are doing really, really well in the Devils setup now. So it just made sense leaving their team alone as such, and then just making my team it's not all the old faces, because some people obviously won't know some of them, because I've kind of divided my team into segments of my career.
Yeah. So
we've got bit of a, you'll probably be able to guess who, but obviously you've got a Devils line. We're probably going with a juniors line, so whoever played with my junior career, being mainly Guildford. So a few Guildford boys are coming back. We've got a specials line, which is I can't really say too much, but
no, obviously we don't want to break any sort of.
It's one hell of a forward line. And then my last one, so we're playing with probably 4 lines, just because obviously people aren't going to be match fit. We've got an Isle of Wight line, with people who either played over the Isle of Wight or potentially from the Isle of Wight. And then we've got a line that are players that I've always played against, but I've never played with.
Oh, cracking! That sounds like that could be.
I'm quite excited for that line as well. Trying to pull a few cats out of the bag, shall I say, and get a few of the old boys down that I've played with throughout my whole career. So we'll see what happens about that one.
I mean, if this is breaking exclusivity, I can always edit this out or put a censor over it. But there's been some pictures coming out of you training that would make me think that you're not going to play the whole 60 minutes. Would a Mr. Frankie Sabini be stepping in the pipes as well?
This is a bit of an awkward one because I would say, yes. However, this is my last ever 60 minutes. So when I initially, out of courtesy and through the Devil's organisation, I was going to have Martin Clayton, always been in the club, etc. Obviously, his knees are now shot and etc. And then I've got another crazy, what should I say, exclusive that I'm not going to say now, but the guy that was going to kit up, it's madness how we're still in contact, how he actually influenced me to become a goalie to start my career at 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
However, he's going for an elbow operation and can't kit up. And I've always spoken to Frank throughout my whole career, playing against him, just general catch up, and we work together every now and again. And he's like, mate, just let me kit up, I'm buzzing, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's so nice. Again, I've never played with him, I've always played against him. So he's going to kit up for sure. And for this once, I'm going to be selfish and take the full 60 minutes.
Yeah, obviously, well, fitness allowing. But...
No, it's happening. One leg, no leg, I'm there still.
Excellent stuff. Now, you've had there's like a logo going around, obviously, the Chico in the goal with the one in the middle. Very, very nice indeed. I take it you must have had some nice little jerseys designed as well.
So, yeah, again, thank you, Dylan, who does all the Devil social media. He created that logo. Look, we had loads back and forth. He's put an unreal amount of time into it, which I'm much, much appreciated of.
Yeah, I met Dylan when I came down to do the commentary on the cup final first leg. Lovely lad.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been blessed and lucky enough to obviously him help me out massively with all this promotion, social media stuff. And then before this, as soon as the testimonial was going to go ahead, I initially sent my helmet off with Duffy at the end of my last game. I said, can you just get this professionally re-wrapped? I'm going to put it in a box and I'm going to keep it in my office. And that was the end of it. And I never saw my helmet until 3 weeks ago, when I went down to the first training. So I've got a new helmet piece design made for this game. And then I've had the shirts designed around the helmet piece.
Oh, wow. Superb.
So, yeah, it's to me, obviously, it's very special. Pushing the boat out of it, traditional colours of Solent Devils a little bit, just with a little bit of spice on it, and a touch of class, I think, is the way it's going.
Yeah, excellent. Honestly, I cannot really put into words how gutted I am of the weekend that it's fallen on. Is my golf weekend, which had already been moved once because of it clashed with playoffs originally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you told me what weekend it was, I was like, oh no. It was something I was really, really looking forward to being a part of, and I was so honoured and touched that you wanted me to be a part of it. So as I said, I thought the least I could do was get you on a little bit of time before to make sure that we proper do pack that rink out for you down in Solent and get all of your stuff. There's some merch flying around, isn't there, as well, with them logos on, some hoodies and caps?
There is. Again, there's no. For us, it's just the promotion on the game. We want to see people in these items. We want to see people wearing them. It's just going to be. That's the only thing that realistically, there's only the game worn shirts that are going to be available for auction or for sale. There's no replicas apart from on the kids can have a replica, but no adult shirt is to be bought as a replica, just to make them a bit more special, one-offs, etc. So yeah, hoodie designs, scarves, hats, and for the first time ever, I don't know why, but we've got a VIP section at the Solent Arena, which
wow.
no one could probably ever believe that's ever a thing. However, it's more just a merch ticket, just to get the merch out there.
Yeah.
And realistically, I think it works out. If you're going to buy the merch, it works out better buying a ticket. Because your merch is basically you get your ticket free, near enough. But we want to see people in the hoodies, etc. We want to see it out.
Yeah, I think where I stood to commentate on the cup final was about as close to VIP. I was in the corner on my own under the DJ booth. But that's yeah. I mean, it's we obviously we speak to everybody that's played either for Solent or at Solent about the character that rink has, and it does have character and it has an incredible atmosphere. That low ceiling really does add to the atmosphere in there.
I think it definitely does, especially in this league. Nowhere, I mean, Chelmsford, Streatham, I don't know what fans they're putting now, up to 1,000 people. But obviously you can cram 400 people into that rink, and it's 400 people in that rink is louder than any other rink in the league, by a long shot. And although when you're playing, you blank a lot of it out, when it does or did get pumping and name chanting and drums are going, it really is something intimate, I guess. It's like, compared to when you go to Milton Keynes, it's you're playing in a nice big rink or whatever. When you've got 20 fans there or whatever, it's not. Yeah,
it's not the same.
You know.
No, I mean it was something that I spoke to a few of the guys at Ali Pally last year at the playoffs. That that was so much better than the playoff finals at Milton Keynes because it was a big full arena. Atmosphere was incredible. Whereas, for your last game, that playoff final at Milton Keynes, it was, as you say, it was a bit of a damp squib, when not many fans in the big building, and obviously you came out on the losing side on the day as well, which wouldn't have been the way you planned going out.
I didn't plan to go out. I always spoke about it just because of body kind of time you got to like Monday morning, Tuesday morning. After the finals, I knew I made the right decision. I was in a bad way physically, just by playing 2 games, mentally stressed, body's taking a hit from overload of food, caffeine, God knows what else you do to play a hockey game, strap yourself up rotten. And then, I was going back to work on the Monday morning at like R7, and you got people trying to cross-check you in the head, and to me, I just lost the love of the game at that point. I just thought, we're all here. Yes, we love playing the game, but everyone from the Solent Devils are playing for free here. We're playing hockey for the love of hockey, not because we're paid to be here, not because of any other reason apart from we want to be here. The night before, I sent a text out to the lads in the group. I sent them as a first, but I said, I think this is my time.
Yeah, if no one's listened to that episode, I think it's episode 32 that you can find back. It's quite raw because we're probably talking 3 weeks after that game that we sat down and did that. I think you may have even been on holiday somewhere. You came in from the sun briefly and sat in the hotel.
That's not me.
I think it was actually a big family holiday. I think you were away with your mum and dad and everything, and and spoke with me for about 20 minutes, half hour about it, and it was quite raw. And I think, as I said, that one of the reasons I'm gutted not to be there on that night is because this is not just going to be a night celebrating your achievements and your commitment. This is going to be a really emotional night as well.
Yeah, I think it will, and I think I was always really good with my emotion in hockey. I say good, as in blacked out. My one focus was there just to play well, play my best I could, and to stop everything that I could. There's the one photo, I think once we beat Invicta in that semi, and us as a team were lined up on the blue line looking at the fans. And I think that photo, to me, every time I look at it, I was like, I've never really sucked that in enough in my whole career. And I was speaking to my nan and papa the other day, and there was like, nothing ever used to beat, obviously going down there, everyone chanting G go, and there's a song about me and all stuff like that, and I never actually took a step back and soaked it in ever, because I don't really, as much as I knew I was a big character, I never really like
You never believed your own hype, did you?
Not that I didn't believe it, because it helped my confidence to play, because everyone believed in me, and I think that's why the team ended up playing well as well, because you know that I could still all turn up and play, and we could still win a game regardless. You know, that was our mentality. So I think if I can take it in on that day, I think that the emotions will come out, I think.
Yeah, we said this, and I've said this with every goalie that's been on the show, that hockey is an odd sport where a goalie can actually win you the game without scoring a goal, and you've done that many times over the years. You've become almost like a erroneous figure for opposing fans, where you can watch the Devils play against your team and think he's having one of those nights. There's not many keepers at this level that have got that kind of reputation, and I know that you appreciate that the fans have that reputation of you.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the thing. As much as I knew my capabilities, however, I always understood and read each situation. You know, I never baited myself out, never baited crowds up, etc. I never spoke to anyone like to activate any kind of engagement to give them an ounce of what's the right word? Where they think mentally they're going to get to me and whatever else. And I think to a point at 5, 6, 7 years in the league is that there was none of that anymore, because no one knew that they could even get to me, because no one really affected me, which I think was quite nice to a certain degree. Obviously, it's nice to be respected in any league, regardless of what league you're in. It was thinking about it more and more and more. It's actually quite amazing, really. Yeah,
it's something that, you know, over the last few months of doing this, that I've kind of come to realise that what I'm doing now is, you know, I do this kind of because I enjoy it and putting it out there for the fans. But what we're kind of creating is this digital legacy that as you finish playing, all this stuff is going to be here forever to be looked back on.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, like now, I follow a couple of the goalies in the junior club, and everyone's got videos of them making like big saves and whatever else it may be. And like in my junior career, technology wasn't really a thing then. I mean, you was lucky to have a mobile phone back then, you know, like, and then you got like one of the goalies having a highlight reel of him playing an under-12s game. I think this is mental. Like, I would love to have like a small video of my whole hockey career. I know my mum and dad have probably got some like old videos of what they used to take when we were a kid, but other than that, it's I think that's why this game I think will be even more special. And I think to now have a kid and to go down to that rink to see something in the rink is going to be absolute mental. Like, I never set out to play hockey to do that. And even when I go to Guildford, Fred Polini's banners up there, and obviously when he used to coach us, I always used to think that's absolutely mental kind of thing. But now that's happened to me, and to be the first one, it's still not really sunk in 100%.
No, I'm sure, as you say, I'm sure it will on the night when you sort of are able to stand there and take it all in. Something I will suggest, if they've not thought of it just yet, would be to mic you up during the game.
Oh, you don't want to hear that. I was probably the most vocal goalie in the league, for all the right reasons. But I think that was one of my biggest assets. You know, I mean, the amount of hours that I've played hockey, I've studied players, not as homework, but that was always the challenge to me. You know, like playing, to say the Bartletts, you know, their slap shots are unbelievable, but to me, I knew that was a challenge because no one else in the league shoots like them, and like what are they doing differently to score these goals? And that was always my mental challenge, to always try and be one step in front of everyone else. Like realise what these players do. Like, what, are they jerking? Are they dropping an elbow, dropping a foot? What are they doing to then create goals or whatever, try and read what they're going to do for back doors and stuff like that, which that was my biggest asset to the team. And I would generally see everything from the back. So command it.
Yeah. Well, the season's nearly over for the Devils. They've got one league game left where they visit Streatham.
Yeah.
I think they've already beaten them once this year. I know they always beat Streatham at least once a year.
It's good. I think the league needs that kind of stuff. I think it's nice that obviously there's a bit more competition this year, I guess. I think it was always going to be... I'm surprised Chelmsford are not a bit closer to the top two, if I'm honest. They've got a hell of a team.
It is an odd one, actually. It's kind of like... I was on 4,000 with Nicky Watt a couple of weeks ago, and I said that they seem to just be built for cups and playoffs. They don't seem to have that consistency.
The Bartons turn up properly, whatever else. Yeah. Especially with obviously Lauday coming down from wherever he was last year or year before. Yeah, really.
After the Bison folded, that Lauday came to Chelmsford.
Yeah, which must be the year that I stopped.
Yeah, it was.
He's been there 2 years. Yeah, so again, I mean, I know he's had a kid in that period as well. So yeah, I'm just a little bit surprised. I thought there would be definitely a 3-horse race this year.
Yeah, I think from what I've seen, I mean, Slough and Streatham are definitely the best two teams in the league. But for me, Slough are the best team I've seen all season.
I think they've just got consistency, and again, it's new to the league having that young of a team that are hungry and can stick to a system. You know, that's always when we played Slough back when I was playing. They would have not the same system, but they would have a system for that game, and every single player would stick to that system. So it would be hard to break down because everyone's on the same page. Whereas some of the other teams, like Devils, you would just rely on that one player to have an amazing game to score a goal. You know, like out of nowhere, if Chelmsford don't turn up, but Barlett's, both of them could just turn up for 5 minutes and score 3 goals, you know, and you won the game, you know. Whereas for them, they're hungry for 60 minutes, you know. Obviously, they have lost and they've had moments and whatever else, like everyone does in the league, you know. But I think it's crazy that 18 to 21-year-olds are doing this in that league.
Yeah. There's something I was talking to someone about it the other day because they actually asked me. They normally watch the Roundup episode on YouTube, and I hadn't got it on there yet. So they were like, "I don't know if you've covered this or not, but what are the title implications?" And I said, "Well, actually, it's quite interesting because I think because Saturday Streatham are going to Cardiff,
right?
And if Streatham don't win in regulation, Slough are champions regardless.
Yeah.
But if Streatham win in regulation and then the following day beat Solent, but Cardiff on the Sunday takes Slough to overtime, they'll finish level on points, but Streatham have got a better head-to-head over Slough, beating them 3 out of the 4 times, so Streatham will be champions." There's quite a lot of connotations, actually, to go on this weekend. And it's.
However, if you look at the maths, I mean, I don't think either team are going to go to either game lightly at all. You know, I think they're going to want to pump in both games regardless. You know, I don't think they're going to take any, regardless of the results between them and Cardiff. I think Cardiff have a couple of big results this year, though, haven't they? Like only 1 or 2, but
yeah, they beat Solent at the Vindico. They've forced over a couple of times, and I mean, it's not a very nice last weekend for them to face the top back to back, especially after that. Now they've already qualified for the playoffs and they don't need anything. But I think it's been a fantastic season. I'm really looking forward to this playoff setup that's happening this year, and we could actually get a replay of the cup semi-final between Slough and Solent if Slough do win the league, and both Solent and Slough win their playoff quarterfinals. They will then meet in the semi-finals over 2 legs, which, as everyone knows, over 2 legs, who knows?
And 100% it is that, you know, the playoff hockey does hit differently slightly. There's an added pressure to some players for no real reason, but you feel the emotion, you feel tense, you know, because everyone just takes it that little bit more seriously because you're going to a weekend away to play hockey. Like, that is your sole focus. Like the league, everyone has probably 90%, 95% have full-time jobs. You know that your focus isn't always hockey, but you'll always turn up and you'll play. Whereas I feel like, I did like my Fridays if we were playing playoff hockey would be doing fairly little. I'm eating as much as I can. I'm dominating myself. I'm just taking a step back. I wake up Saturday morning, I do absolutely nothing apart from eat again, feed up. And my life would change for that weekend, you know. I'd physically do it just to try. Because I think winning the playoff has a bigger buzz in the league, I think, but for no real reason. Because I think the league, you've played 30, God knows how many games now, plus all the other cups that you're involved with, and you play 4 games or 6 games or whatever it is, and you celebrate more to win the playoffs, which is madness.
Yeah, I think that's hockey as a sport in general, isn't it? Because obviously in the NHL, you don't really get any credence for winning the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference. It's, you know, you've got to go through and win that Stanley Cup in the playoffs. So it's great that they make a big deal out of it, because I think, as you said, hockey players in general, they want to make a big deal out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And I think it's better now what they're doing in terms of involving the North League. I think there's always got to be another challenge. And when, like, if you win playoff hockey, great, but when you don't play the North, I think there has to be like a true champion of NHL 1, you know.
Well, they have the game at Coventry, where the winner of the league in the North and South will play on the Sunday morning at Coventry on the playoff final weekend. But that's generally like a couple of weeks after the playoffs have finished. So guys are off on holiday. They're resting up. I don't think it's ever the full ticket of either team that plays in that game. So this playoff weekend will give us a true national champion for this level.
So is the North coming down to this one as well then?
Yeah, the one it's in Sheffield. So once you've won your 2-legged quarterfinals and your 2-legged semi-finals, South 1 final is on the Saturday, and the North 1 final is on the Saturday. I think South 2 and North 2 are also there, so 4 finals on the Saturday.
And then Sunday, the winner of both
North and South meet at both levels.
That's sick. Yeah, that's much better.
Can't wait for it.
Yeah, that's definitely much better.
England Ice Hockey have been really good with it as well. They're really plugging it well. It's got its own little bit of merch there. I would imagine it will be streamed live. I know it will be. I have found out that I'm not commentating on it this year, which I was a bit disappointed about. But I had to be there anyway, covering it for the podcast, because there's just going to be so much going on that weekend. And we're looking at also doing a kind of live ESPN-style breakdown show on the Saturday night on YouTube between all of the podcasts that are there. There's going to be an awful lot of us media guys there just chatting shit.
And that is it. Yeah, but that's good. Like, this is what the sport needs, you know. It needs you guys, 4,000 and counting. I don't know who else is there, but it needs everyone to come together and make this sport bigger. And I mean, YouTube's going mental. And more people watch YouTube than probably TV now. So it needs all that, and it's unbelievable that you lot are technically all doing it for free.
Yeah, I was no technical about it. We're doing it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a fight down in Chelmsford the other day between Solent Junior Devils player and a Chelmsford Warrior.
See that? They were picking his teeth out or something.
Yeah. It's got like 8,000 views on YouTube in a week. It's mad. Yeah, so if we can get these amount of eyes on the sport, even if it is for picking teeth up off the floor.
Yeah. Just try and get the rights to that video to put it up, just so you get the clicks for your profile.
Oh, it's good old Hockey Fights UK. When James Hansen was on with me a couple of weeks ago, he said,
"Oh yeah, I listened to it.
If you live forever on there. If you've been knocked out or you've knocked someone out, it lives forever on there."
Yeah, definitely.
Well, hopefully we won't see any nucks flying and gloves on the floor in the Chico Testimonial at the end of April, or maybe
who knows? We're going to win, you know, and that's it.
I'm sure, mate. It's going to be an incredible night. Once again, I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you. As I said, I was so touched and honoured that you asked me to be involved, and I'll do everything I can from here to plug it as much as I can.
Lovely, perfect. Teams should be starting announced this week, I believe. So
excellent.
Hopefully, we might start on Monday though. I think the idea is release a player a day, and then each line at the end of the week will have its own announcement. So yeah, over the next 3 to 4 weeks, the full team will be announced.
Excellent. Well, keep your eyes on the Solent Devils socials. Also follow Solent Devils Testimonials across Facebook and Instagram, and you can get all the updates there and all the exclusive releases for Team Chico. We didn't get one tonight. I was hoping we might get one, but we did get the exclusive that all the funds raised are going to go back to the goalies in the Solent Juniors Devils setup, which is absolutely fantastic. So, Chico, mate, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Good luck for your testimonial. Good luck on becoming a dad as well. Hopefully I might see you at some point before it happens or shortly just after.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much to all the sponsors and people that are involved with my team. It's greatly appreciated. Every single penny, like I say, will go back to the junior club.
Excellent stuff. Chico Cole, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.